What is the time?
What is the time? It is at 7:31. We, with everything that's going on and with the opportunity of people getting shots and stuff, then we are planning a Octoberfest for this year. So this one's, it is on the schedule. So we're going to plan this one as if it's actually going to happen.
How does everyone feel about that?
How do you guys feel about that? You think it's, I think it's going to happen. I think that things are.
I'm
open.
hopeful.
Yeah, I'm hopeful too. So anyway, first Saturday in October. So we should,
Tony,
yep, go
I
ahead.
think we very well might be in a situation still where folks are having to wear masks.
Yep.
Is there any concern about policing that or enforcement?
Yeah, I think what'll happen is though, is that we may have to make a mask mandate for it. You know, but we can wait until it gets a little closer to that, then to come up with some, you know, some guidance, some rules, right?
And then, yeah, I mean, we may be put in a situation in which we may have to distance, like the beer garden.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
We may have to spread the beer garden out a little, you know, take up more space, more room, and limit the number of people in there. What I'm hoping is I think that what we should do, my recommendation would be to start planning it like a normal event. Okay, we're going to start seeing some. And we can plagiarize some of the other ones. It'll be interesting to see how Woodstock and, you know, the Big E start making rules for theirs. You know, and we can use some of that as guidance. Because there's other fall festivals that are starting to be planned for this year too. So so we're not alone, and we don't kind of like have to invent this on our own, you know. So
When is Broomfield?
I don't know exactly, but I did hear that they were in the planning mode. Brimfield.
Hold on right now. Mid-May, mid-July, and early September.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's another market or another festival we could piggyback off of.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then, you know, worst case, you know, like we just change gears on it if we have to, you know. That would be the worst case. But I think that we should start planning it as if it was actually, if it's, you know, it's really going to happen. And we can take guidance, you know, we can make up guidance for masking or whatever other requirements they put on us for the event by then. Keith, your hair grew longer and you got more of this.
Yeah, this is the look of Keith having to create a Zoom account. Otherwise, I would have been on time.
Okay, so you kind of came in as we were figuring out that we actually are going to plan a 2021 event. Also, what's happened is I was asked by the Board of Selectmen what we were doing because the town is 275 years old.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
So, seeing as how I said, well, we're planning the event, we will plan something special for that. And that got interpreted to the fact that we are taking charge of the town's 275th event. So, and that it will happen at Octoberfest. So that's, you know, that kind of got thrown on us that way. I see, you know, all of a sudden Melissa's eyes went,
I'm not gonna lie, that scares me just a little. Okay, a lot.
okay, well, I don't, and now when I was talking to Kevin, Board of Selectmen about it, you know, all I planned on doing and all I thought, mentioned that we would do is that we would do something to recognize that the town is 275 years old, at the event. I don't know how elaborate that has to be, but we can talk about that. We can kick that around. Based on that, I did have someone that was involved in Douglas's 250th, where they had created a book, 250 years old, for the town. And he had requested, right now this book is out of print. You can't get copies of this anymore. There's no more copies. At one time, this was in what, 1980 something, 1989 or something like that. 1996, the town was 250 years old. They had a parade downtown and all of that, but they didn't really make that big a deal other than they had a parade and they published a book. So anything that we do beyond that will make us look like heroes. But anyway, he gave me a copy of the book. It's out of print. He had suggested that, that he would like to have a table at Oktoberfest and like sell these. And I said, well, I can certainly do that. I think that our committee, we'll talk about it in committee. I told him it's 250 years old. It doesn't say 275. So maybe we should probably make an addendum to this. Because.
And then in the last 25 years, we had severe budget cuts. That brings you up to the last 25.
Well, a lot of things happened in 25 years. If you, in this book, I don't know, I planned on actually making a copy of this book, like an electronic copy of this. I have equipment at work that will allow me to do that. But there is a lot of neat stuff in it. There's a lot of articles written by, some of the old guys in town that tells you about some stuff. And there's a little Octoberfest section. And, how they describe Octoberfest is nothing like the way we do it now. I had thought that, another addendum to this to bring us up to date would have made a better impact, but. What do you think? Comments?
I'm not. I'm probably not the one who should speak first. I was. A couple thoughts come into my head. Number one, I think it's hard to really determine much without seeing the book ourselves.
Yep.
And having an idea of, what all it encompasses. I'm curious, when you said this gentleman would like, a spot at Oktoberfest to sell these books, where are the proceeds for that going? Is that like he's lining his own pocket because he has this taking up space in his basement? Is it going to the town? That's something that I'd be curious in as well.
Yeah.
And if we're going to be making changes to it or updating it, then, should it be part of our fundraising activities? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm curious what you guys all think, but.
Yeah. My conversation with him is that I don't know how many they had made at the time when they did this, but they did the book, they sold X many number of them. And then, now it's out of circulation. The company that had printed it the first time no longer exists. He found somebody else that would do it. He had said that he found somebody that would do it for $13. For a copy. Okay. And then he wanted to he was going to buy like 50 copies and then sell them at Oktoberfest to get his money back. And I said, 50 copies is nothing. Okay. You might have 50. That's nothing. 50 copies will disappear. Maybe people are interested in an hour or two. If I would have, you, Keith, you're killing me.
Tony, just to be clear, there are no. Tony, am I muted?
So.
Oh, I can hear you, John.
Tony, to be clear, there are no copies currently of this book. You're talking
No
about,
copies currently at this point. The only reason I have one is because he loaned me one.
he's talking about doing a reprint. Yeah.
Well, he's talking about doing a reprint, but he said that he would pay for it, but he's only going to pay for 50, and then sell them until they're gone. And I said, well, why bother? The 50 is not providing them to the town, So, to be honest with you, okay, and you really can't tell, but it's about the size of an annual report. Okay. The only thing is it's saddle stitched, not perfect bound like an annual report is, if you know the difference. Okay. Saddle stitch means it's folded and stapled in the middle like a magazine. Okay. And I can get these probably printed, okay, for $5 a piece, not 13.
Yeah, 13's really high.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
And I would say you do this. Okay. Now I'm just throwing this out there. I would say you get a couple hundred of these. All right. And the more you buy, the cheaper they get. Okay. So if I bought 100, they would be $5 a piece. But if I bought 200, they $2.50 each, because once they get the production run, paper's cheap. The machine just spits these out. And then what happens is we sell them. The first thing you do is cover the cost of printing. Then you give whatever you have left over to the Douglas Town Library. Let them sell them and keep the money.
Who's going to do the layout work, the digitizing?
Well, that's if we just want to reproduce the one that we have, I can send it off to a company to do that. Okay. If we want to modify it with like the last 25 years, which was an idea.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to have somebody do that. We'd have to have somebody write articles and, new pictures. There is a lot that happened in the town in the last 25 years. We got a brand new school, we got a brand new high school, we got a brand new fire station,
Yeah, I think
Octoberfest is 5 times the size that it was back then, so Octoberfest has become a big event.
I don't think we should even entertain this unless we're going to update the pamphlet, update the book.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing says has been selling a book that's 25 years old at the, what is it, 275?
Yeah.
That's pretty lame to sell the 250 version at the 275 edition.
Yeah.
So I think we should update it, to do whatever we need to do to figure out how to update it, modernize it, make it the 275 version. And yeah, I mean, get 500, get 1,000 copies. And I'm with you. Let's cover the cost of printing and then give the rest to the library.
Yeah. Because if you did that, you could put them at the library. They could sell them in there until they're gone or until they, the profit on them.
So, Tony, I think you already kind of hit it without realizing it. It's probably not something we should do. I think there is already an organization that has the resources to do this.
Who's that?
Has been doing it for a really long time.
Who?
And that's the Board of Selectmen's office.
The
They do the annual report every year. They cover the costs of it. It's really nice. It's color. It's slick. I would maybe, say, hey, we'll go ahead and incorporate the 275. Why don't you guys, get a book ready to distribute?
But they're not going to they're not going to produce content or write content. They can do the printing.
Well, they're actually uniquely qualified to do the content because they can just go back through the past 25 annual reports.
Well, Tony, what's in the book?
This book.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
It has a pretty good history of the town. It has like some really
They're narratives, right?
they're narratives. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has I don't know, it has like, you know, some really old pictures. Uh, you know, like a picture in 1909 of Douglas Main Street. And you know, there's picture of the Jenks store, there's pictures of you know, the Jenks ladies riding in their little horseless carriage on Main Street. And then you know, there's pictures of Wallace's farm and sawmill and stuff way back at the turn of the century. There's pictures of Civil War guys in Douglas. So
I think
at sometime before the 250th, they had a committee, and this guy was on it, okay, that got together and, you know, and created this book, kind of like a yearbook committee in high school or something, where they sat down and they developed this book, and they did it in time for Douglas's 250th. That was, they had planned it out. And I had, when he brought this idea up to me, I said, well, why don't you get your committee back together? And some of them aren't alive anymore. But, you know, he said that there were, you know, not enough time to do that. This took us, you know, this took us a long time. So anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure it did, but they were covering 250 years, not 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Keith, I think you're probably onto something. We should start there, and that's, you know, keep it local if we can. And then I don't think that office is equipped to write narratives to contribute, but I do think that we have plenty of people in town who are, and we have a community on Facebook with the Facebook page. And, you know, if we wanted to solicit photos or solicit articles, you know, we could crowdsource it that way. And then this group's not taxed with having to write the narratives.
Well, I guess the first thing I agree that this book would be a good base to start from, and then you can just add the next 25 years, right? So now there's, you know, however, okay, does our committee doesn't want to take on this project, do we?
No.
No, I see Keith making his mask face saying no.
Well, I mean, I think we're capable of facilitating it so long as we're outsourcing the work. You know, if we're just managing the project, that's one thing. You know, that's just a matter of coordinating with folks. And
I want to make a motion that we hand this town book 275 year project to John to organize.
Did I just get volunteered?
Considering you were the only one in the group that's like, no, I think we should manage this. Yeah.
Right, fine. Yeah. I don't know anyone in that office, Keith. So if Keith is willing to coordinate the printing side of things and get that going.
Literally just said, I don't think we should do this. And you're like, oh, I'll manage it. Yeah, Keith, can you do this? Wait, what? I don't want to be managed.
I'll work on getting stories and getting the content, and I'll take care of the editing and making sure the stuff looks good and reads well. Keith, if you could coordinate with the folks at the office and figure out if they'll print it for us, and we'll go from there.
All right. I hate you.
Okay. So
Question. Just to throw out an idea, I'm sorry, Tony. I'm curious, John, from your perspective as a teacher, what do you think about contacting the high school, maybe the like the honors program, and see if they wanted to do some sort of a writing contest for it? No?
We don't have 5 years to make that happen.
All right.
I'm sorry. We've just touched that stove so many times that it's like, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if anything, I'd say maybe the Historical Society. Yeah, I think Chris Billett, who's done some really great work in the past year with, you know, pulling out some of the photographs and bringing those to life. Yeah, that could be a pretty good resource. But you know, like I said, to go to the high school, it's, I don't
Not-
know.
Okay.
Now, if you want to do that,
Well, good.
So I guess the first step then, okay, is for me to, I can take this book to my office and I can digitize it, and right. And after I do that, I can actually print copies of it, in this type of format, all right, so that I can get it at least to the members of the committee, all right. And then,
yeah. So, and I guess that's something else that we need to kind of think about. Is that not kind of whose property are we considering this to be? Is this the town's property? Because if somebody's coming to us and saying, yeah, I wanted to sell this, yeah, we don't think that's a good idea, we're just going to take it, then that might not be so cool either.
okay, no, actually, it is cool because, well, it is because he had told me that none of this work is copyrighted.
Okay. Nor would I expect it to be.
We
Okay,
have this
Like I said,
blessing.
and it's not owned by him. Okay, he was
Okay.
just the committee that did it. Okay, he would like to see it being made. What his real goal is to see it. He did a lot of work on this for the year 250th, and it's
All
another
right.
major birthday of the town. And he would like to see it, come out of the closet, and people in the town that that never seen it before have the opportunity to get it. This is what he's telling me. Okay.
Okay.
So he's okay with us modifying it.
He's okay with us modifying it. He's okay with us, he's okay with us paying to have the reproduction cost. Okay. But if we didn't do anything with it, we said, well, we're not interested, then, he would have liked to, printed 50 copies and, allow 50 other people in town to get a copy of it, which makes no real sense to me, but.
That's how you start collector's items, Tony.
When you see this, it's actually an awesome book. It has a lot of town history. There's pictures of the axe mill, the Haywood Schuster. There's picture of Main Street when it was a horse road. Okay.
Christina, what's the one that I have?
So
The booklet that Molly gave us. What year is that? Do you know? How many years was that? 200. Molly and Nick gave us a Douglas booklet. Okay.
Tony, can you get that
You
guy's
know what I'm
blessing
talking about?
on this?
what was that?
Up on our dresser.
This guy's blessing to, just confirm that we're good. Do this.
Well, I can call him.
We want it in writing that we can do what we're gonna need to do.
Okay, well, we can.
Hey, why isn't Mary's face up here?
Never is.
Let's see. I forget his name.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't need to happen right now, but just,
Yeah.
just get his blessing to make sure that we're okay.
Yeah. Well, I had told him that we would be talking about it tonight, so I'd have to get back to him anyway and just, tell him what we decided to do.
Perfect.
I think that, but I agree. Selling a book that's 25 years old without an update isn't really make much sense. It's not really what we want to do. We want to, if we're gonna do it, we'd like to have it updated, to at least include, the last 25 years.
If you put the word out that you want pictures and stories from the last 25 years, you'll get a lot.
Maybe not all what we want.
Well, I didn't say what you'd get. I just said you get a lot of stories.
Yeah, but that's why you edit it. You
You have to verify the stories too.
And then there was this rooster.
let's see.
I
His
would
name
not
is
want to live next to a
his
rooster.
name is Paul Peterson.
Laptop is being a pain.
Paul Peterson. And, anyway, they had a 250th anniversary committee, and they're actually written in the book. They had, Paul Peterson was the chairman, Joe Vecchione, Joyce Candela, Hillary McInnes, Peter Coppola. Those were the committee of the book.
Well, I mean, we couldn't possibly have done that. I mean, we didn't really have much notice. It's only been 25 years.
We have 25-year notice.
From the time the 250th was done. Yeah, you're kind of on the clock.
Well, it seemed to me that, and I did kind of mention that when he had brought this up. I said, didn't you know, like, Douglas is going to be 275? Couldn't you, like, come last year with this or the year before?
Well, there was some talk about, the town restoring some of the monuments and that kind of stuff for 275. And then I think, all hell broke loose and, ta-da.
All right, what's next on the agenda?
Next on the agenda. Okay. Well, we're having the, somebody a while back after our last meeting, which was quite a while
Hey
ago,
guys, I'll be right back.
somebody had sent me a thing saying, adult trikes would be cool. Yes. Okay, so I actually agree. I think that's awesome. So I did find, okay, seeing as how, hang on a minute. Even though I'm not the host of this, I can do this. Okay. So if you look at my screen, okay, I did find a place where you can buy adult trikes. Okay, eBay has them.
Make them bigger.
Huh?
Make it bigger.
Okay. And we can buy them for like $250 to $500 each.
Wow.
That is significantly cheaper than the ones I sent you.
Oh yes.
I
Okay.
don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I read the reviews on these. I looked it up. I actually looked up the Razor TX thing, and it's got good reviews, and adults use them, and they have a blast. Okay. I don't think that we have to, they don't have to really last for us for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, not at 230 a piece, 250 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sent it. This was my idea that I got from a friend, and I pitched this to Tony. My idea is to buy four trikes and do adult racing at the event at Octoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of thinking about it, I mean, I think you could just leave it sort of like open course throughout the day and charge people to do it, to get 10 laps or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever.
Yep.
And then
we could give out ribbons. We have plenty of ribbons. I have a whole box of blue ribbons,
Yeah. And then at a certain time of the day, I think we actually do racing. I think we hold races or classes, do relays with it. And I think it would be a blast. And if there was some way to coordinate it where the racetrack went by the beer garden, I think it would just be like a bonkers good time with people lining up, drinking beer, cheering these guys on, sliding around cones and having a blast.
Without running into vendors?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to do it away from vendors, obviously, but.
Well, how about, we did plan but we also planned on expanding up Pleasant Street around the corner there with the stage, so we can conceivably get more room that way.
Keith missed my big pitch. We're buying adult trikes.
Now, what I would suggest is, okay.
Like, is that something that you get in an adult store or?
Oh, good Lord.
No. Well, anyway, John, what I would suggest is, like this particular one, I read good reviews, but I say we buy one and look at it first. Okay. All right. And then, you know, if it's what we want, we just buy 3 more,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, one of the thoughts I had was, and I don't know if we could facilitate this. We could maybe create a course in the parking lot of the bank.
Yep.
Oh, come on, guys. You can't go this far and then not race them down that hill. Like, come on.
I mean, yeah, like I was saying, Keith, my dream here is to actually have the course run next to the beer garden. Because I think if you had people drinking beer and cheering on people racing tricycles, it would just be the highlight of the event. But as it stands right now, I don't think it's feasible to have a racetrack next to the beer garden.
Okay, so let's do it from the school, like from the old school down that hill.
Now,
Come on, for the 275th, right? Like, we need something big.
No, you'll kill them.
I was gonna say like a lawsuit.
yeah,
You'll break them.
now
The
we
Yeah,
could
the wheels will crack. Yeah,
Yeah.
You'd kill it.
we could do.
They've got to make something.
My thought too was we create some type of oval with cones or whatever in the front part of the credit union.
Yeah, if you have people skidding out and sliding around, that's going to be all the fun. The people are going to have a blast. It's gonna be nuts. But there's a visibility problem because Bear sets up right there. You want these things to be out in the open. You want people to be cheering them on. You want people to line up and line the racetrack. So I certainly think we can. I think we should do it. I think we can get creative and find a spot for them. Put some hay bales around the course, and people have a blast.
Yep.
But it's one more thing. And I think, like we say year after year, the more we do and the more we grow, we need people. Like Keith and I can't man this too and MC this, while we're also doing dog racing and barbecue. And, someone's got to be selling tickets and starting this thing. This is like easily a 2 or 3 person job to volunteer, to staff.
Yep.
I think that's one of the biggest struggles, and I know I'm not saying anything that nobody else hasn't already thought, but we need more people in general. I mean, additional committee members and more volunteers the day of. And that's, I think the biggest struggle.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that, you don't want I think the bigger the committee gets, the harder it is to get things done, the more infighting there is, we need more day of volunteers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's really what it boils down to. And I think if you can have something like this, where you say, look, we're going to take these trikes and we're going to race them down, Depot Street, because that's the better idea. Then you could possibly have, because I think sometimes we cast too wide of a net, or we're like, we need volunteers, where if we could say, hey, we need 2 or 3 people that could run with this, then, maybe we get something.
You signing up to be a volunteer coordinator? Is that what it sounds like?
No.
All right, Tony, do it. I move that we buy a tricycle.
Yeah. 1 to start, right? And
I
then
move that we buy 1 tricycle.
we have a second. We have a second. I need a second.
Yeah, I did a second.
I thought Melissa got it, but
I did.
I vote.
All right.
Okay. So we're gonna buy one of these trikes and see what it looks like. And then we'll all get the touchy feel it, and then, if we like it, then we'll buy 3 more.
The
Huh?
boys are gonna want to ride it
Yeah,
down
yeah,
sometime.
yeah.
I almost kind of think that we should get 2 just to
Yeah,
see
can
how.
you just get 2? Can I amend? I'd like to move that we buy a second tricycle.
Okay. So we want to buy 2. Okay, we're gonna buy 2.
2.
Then what'll happen is that you will have to take them down to Municipal Center parking lot and just kind of, try them out.
Deal.
All right,
Bring your helmets.
bring my helmet. Okay. All right, so that's that part. Now, also, you
This is
guys,
what I'm gonna look like after racing one of those things.
okay, you guys,
Yeah.
you guys remember that knocker ball? Remember my knocker ball? Okay, that's pretty popular. That's pretty popular on the lawn. They
Lots of people touch your knocker balls.
all day long. That thing is booked. The problem that I have
Touching them all day long.
is putting those posts in the ground with pool noodles strapped to them and stuff. After a while, those kind of wear out. So I want to buy one of these.
Oh, that's cool.
How many dollars? How many zeros is that?
Oh, wow.
This is a Joe Biden stimulus plan.
Okay. Now, these come at all sizes. I can, but I would buy it so that it would, we could put it at that spot in the lawn, and then you can run around and do the knocker balls and play inside that arena. All right. That's easy to set up. You just put a thing on it. It's a blow up thing, like the blow up rides that are on there.
Uh-huh.
Why
What's
aren't we
that
using one of those
dollar
for-
sign now? What's the number?
2,000.
2,000.
We'll make that back in 10 years.
No, actually, you won't. Okay. You'll make it back probably in 2 years though, because the knocker balls have already paid for themselves like 4 times.
Why aren't we using one of those for our dog races?
Why not?
I move we get 2 of them.
Oh, in other words, you'll do it for dog racing, but you won't do it for my blow up knocker ball.
Would the animals' nails go through the arena?
Those
I
dogs,
just don't want to talk about Tony's knocker balls anymore.
those dogs run at about 4 feet per hour.
Per hour. And that's if they're moving in the same direction.
Yeah, I don't think we need them for the dog race yet. Like,
No, but I do want to figure out something better than what we've got. Just
Yeah.
not for two grand. Because the dogs don't make us any money.
But those things
Yeah.
are better in a blow up arena.
I think it would look nicer.
Yeah, all right. Tony, how big is that one you have up on your screen?
The one that's up on the screen is 39 by 20.
Is that what you
In
want?
other words, 20 by 40. That's pretty close to the size. I was going to have it actually made a little smaller. Instead of being 40, it was going to be 20 by 30.
Okay.
Because 20 by 30 is the size that I fence in there already.
Yeah, I would say stick with the size that we're used to.
How does it get blown up?
With one of those little blowers, just like the bouncy rides do.
And we've got the electrical to run it?
Yep.
Do we have the funds, or should we get a sponsor? You're going to try and get a sponsor?
Well, we're going to get a sponsor for all kinds of stuff, but right now we have the funds. We have the funds for it. Right.
yeah, I mean, we've been putting money aside for quite a few years. I mean,
Yeah.
we can.
Right now, and right now, the Octoberfest account has got $22,000 in it.
All right. I move that
Fireworks.
What was that?
Fireworks. We need fireworks.
I move that we buy your knocker ball arena to knock your
Second.
balls around.
Knockerball Arena Bouncy. Okay,
What's the shipping on that guy?
20 by 30?
well, I'm gonna
Fast and free. John.
what I can get, but it'll be close to what we get already. Well, it'll be close to the size that we set up for the knockerballs already.
Melissa, did you second that?
I did.
Thank you.
All righty,
Welcome.
okay. Now, let's talk about entertainment. Because it's the 250th anniversary, 275th anniversary. See, now we can all see how silly Keith's being.
He was a pirate. What is he now?
All right, I'm teasing you. I'm teasing everyone. Let's not do that.
You need more shortcuts on your desktop.
I need more. No, that's only one screen. I got more than one screen. Anyway. We got 3 full stages. Okay. This is being the 275th. We should have 3 full stages of entertainment. What do you think?
3 full. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll book the same entertainment the same schedule we have booked last 2 years.
Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, so I mean, I think what we've done over the past couple of years is we've sort of rethought the stages a little bit, right? So the main stage gets music all day, plus the chorus and the choir.
If they still exist.
The stage down by the goodness store, we're gonna bring the physical size down.
Well,
and
I actually got a request by the 2 people down there that we don't bring the physical size down and that we actually put music back up there.
no.
Why?
The bands play for no one. No one goes down there, to see music. We've had much better success with booking variety acts. The dog racing, the dancing, the larger than life parade starts down there. The magician, we do that kind of stuff. I really think that's kind of the way to go. Those types of things draw people down there the way that a local band doesn't. And then, we've had really good success though with the music up on the end of Depot Street.
Here's the issue. Okay. Here's what I've heard, and here's what in the olden days, okay, of Octoberfest, okay, they used to complain, the people down the Harry's Pizza and Goodness Store and all of that used to complain because Octoberfest was up at the church corner, and it didn't do them any good. Okay. Now what happens is, okay, is that the acts that you used to have on the Goodness Store stage, okay, down there, you're putting up at the Depot Street stage, and they see that. So you're doing the same thing that you did before. Okay, that's the comment that was made to me. Okay,
But they hated us when we were down there.
Yeah.
Tony, I'm curious if this is a comment from one individual or a group of individuals.
You got to
Tony, the problem.
You got to remember that there's 4 businesses down there, all right? And then there's kind of a gap because there's residential houses in Extremont, all right? So all 4 of those businesses down there, if you don't put something that draws crowd down there, okay, then Oktoberfest means nothing to them.
But
Tony,
that's why we moved the dog race down there.
Yeah, so the dog races are down there.
And the dog race does bring a bunch of people down there. That
Huge
is
draw.
Yep.
The dog racing brings tons of people.
Yep.
We have the dancers, Dance Sensations. All those parents, all those people come down there for that.
Yep.
Between those 2 events alone, those 2 events, those bring 5 times as many people as when we put local bands down.
Yeah, it's just not as loud. Like that's the only difference. It's not as loud, and there's more people.
And that's the other problem too, is that we're killing when we had bands down there. We're killing the vendors because the music is so loud, and then it gets loud enough that we're actually competing with the main stage for volume wars. The vendors complain because the music's so loud, and if the restaurants down there are complaining that we're not sending people down there, people are going to go to Harry's if they want a slice of pizza, whether there's music or a dog race or not.
And they could do their own promoting too if they wanted to, set up some sort of a special for the day. The Oktoberfest
They
special.
do. Yeah, they do. I mean, they all do that. Like I said, I think it's, and again, it's something that we've talked about with is crowd management, right? Like we try to make a flow
Yep. Yep.
of the event. So yeah, I mean, like I said, last year, I really felt like that was mission accomplished. Like, yeah, there's a little more we could do.
Wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yes, but I know what you mean. Yes. That was a great event. We did a great job on that one.
I mean, I feel really strongly about this. I think that the stage, the section down by Harry's and the Goodness Store, we're doing so much there, and it, like, you know, rolling out the dog course, rolling it back up to let bands play. Yeah, I mean, I think we've hit on the right note by having kind of variety acts down there, bringing people down there, having big draws. Let's move the music up to the Depot Street by the barbecue. You know, we'll prioritize on that corner, do a corner stage, and we'll have, you know, kind of the local bands play up there.
Yeah, I'd like to make that stage a
bit
little bigger.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on the grass too.
We're going to put it on the grass where, you know, right on the other side of the driveway. They have a driveway there, or a small parking lot there.
You don't think we're going to lose too much space for the cook-off?
No,
No, it's not that grass. It's across the street, right on the
the triangle,
right in the
triangle, right in the corner there, Keith. On the
Yeah,
church, the little
so
church.
if people were then listening to the music, wouldn't they be blocking the train?
No, they would. It's going to face towards Main Street, so people could sit in the grass.
Oh, okay.
And the train would go behind the stage.
All right. Yeah, I'm still adamant that I think the better location for the trike racing is, like, if we're keeping that idea of trying to make stuff happen down there, that's the right place for it.
What
is down by the Goodness Store.
The trike race?
Yep.
On Main Street?
I don't want to see it on Main Street. You know what I want to see. I still think we could make it happen.
No, it's got
to go all the way up
go down the hill.
No, it's got to be a flat course. It's got to be a flat oval or a course or something. People do laps. Another thought, I mean, this is crazy, you know, crazy. Is it possible to expand down Main Street towards the picket fence?
You can't.
You have the detour there.
Yeah, you have the detour there.
Can't do the
detour and go somewhere else.
You can't.
You can't do. You got to do. That's where the detour is.
I know where it is, but can it go somewhere else?
No, not without blocking. You can't. You can't.
Isn't there, like, I don't know the street names, like C Street or something down there that could bring them down to?
You can't. What are you going to do for the cars that come down Main Street? You can't.
Well, if they're coming, you can detour them
around the corner and send them down the
liquor store is.
You'd have to block them. You'd have to push them over onto Gilboa.
Yeah.
And the police are not going to go for that.
In order for that to work, you'd have to put the barricade all the way up at the Sokol Hall. That can't happen.
Yeah.
That's way too far.
No, you wouldn't have to do it at the Sokol Hall.
Really? Where
Yeah, you would.
Walk off Route 16 then.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you'd have to go all the way down to Gilboa and then.
Are you looking at a map, John?
Yeah, you'd have to go down to Gilboa and then come up North Street. Yeah, by the Douglas Package store.
That's way too far.
It's a huge detour.
Yeah.
The road behind there is wicked small.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, another thought would be we could, if we're doing away with the bigger stage, and if we're not having bands load in, then we really don't need all that space behind the stage anymore. We could push the stage back 10 feet. Yeah. We've been getting so many vendors that we fill up Main Street, so I don't think we could put.
But you guys were talking about going all the way up to Depot and around the corner and coming back down where the
Yeah.
food carts are.
Yeah, we're going all the way up Pleasant Street now,
But
Yep.
that
around the corner.
that only works if you've got a lot of stuff happening, because if you're stuck as a vendor behind the church and turning around and going on Pleasant Street, and then there's a big gap and then the food people start, they're not going to be happy. I wouldn't be happy.
I don't understand. What are you saying, Mary?
Well, we'd know that though. We wouldn't put them there unless we filled the street up. You know, so that would be like one of the last places, and we would figure the spaces down. You would put them down so that there's no gap. So
Are we concerned that we may need increased space between vendors?
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know. What, for social distancing the vendors?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, if we have to start worrying about social distancing, then this is not, the event's not going to happen. Like I think we are full on figuring that everybody that needs to be vaccinated will be vaccinated.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the ones that want to will be done. Not everyone's getting it.
Okay, well, we're working right now. We're working under the premise that we're planning this event like a normal event. We
Okay.
will modify things as they get closer. So
Yeah, I think we'll probably have a better sense if we have to make any of those accommodations in the summer.
if we have to make accommodations or adjustments, we'll have more information by, August, on how to make that work. So,
Yeah, so let's roll with it.
Okay.
Yeah. and we'll also have, an idea on what other festivals are doing in the area. So that'll be helpful also.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, can you reach out to Polar, Tony, and find out about soda?
Yep, Pola's already said, okay, that they will supply anything we want. Okay, they don't
Sure.
want to run the booth. We can run the booth, but they'll supply all the product and everything you need to do it.
When's the
They're gonna donate product?
I don't know that yet, but
Okay.
they'll supply everything that you need to run your own concession.
And do they set any restrictions on price?
What do you mean on what price?
On price.
You can charge whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
All right. So what I'd love to see us do is make our own Soda Bills or Buffalo Bills soda bar.
There you go. And you're the woodworker, so you just signed up for that one.
Yeah. So we'll build a bar. We'll build a soda bar. And I think we run the same model that they do. I think we sell a
Make
cup.
it out of balsa wood, will you?
Yep.
We sell a cup for a flat fee, and then all day people can come fill up.
You sell
We
it.
charge.
And there's your 275 tie-in.
I was just going to say
Glasses.
with the
So
275
we got
on it.
special 275-year-old Douglas mugs, right?
Yep. And we sell it for 20 or 25 bucks. And it's all the soda you can drink
You
all
sell
day.
it for $275, John.
And you can have all the soda you want.
Okay, and then we'll work out whatever flavors there are, right?
Yep.
All right,
We're gonna need a person to man that.
we're gonna need somebody to man that, yes.
All day.
All
So I did look up what Buffalo Bill does. I don't know if you guys remember, but at least the one I saw, it's staffed for the guy to sell cups, and it's self-serve. People serve them, people do it themselves. They serve themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the model that we want to do, or if we want to man it or staff it to fill up.
Well, you make it so that it's self-serve, but but somebody's standing there
staff.
watching them so that they can't, yeah, it's staff, so that they're not dumping soda out into the ground, so.
Doing
They-
soda keg stands.
Yeah.
Or whatever the kids are doing these days.
Oh, yes, all right.
So you're gonna reach out to Polar to verify
Yep, I can do that.
price and that they are doing it, okay?
But you don't want it in bottled form, you want it on tap,
Yeah, a soda fountain.
you want draft, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And then we'll have to do some shopping for some 275th anniversary Oktoberfest cups.
Yeah, and some nice ones. Nice ones.
But we can come up with some artwork for that. We can say like Douglas Oktoberfest celebrates Douglas 275th birthday or something,
Yeah.
right?
There we go.
To make it simple, Oktoberfest, Douglas 275th anniversary.
Well, that makes it sound like it's Oktoberfest's 275th, and it's not.
All right.
Okay, so
whatever.
you got to say Douglas Oktoberfest celebrates,
All right, whatever.
right?
You can come up with that.
Yes, we'll come up with some kind of a neat logo thing for the cups.
All right, Tony, Star Wars guys.
Okay, yes, I've reached out to what is it called? The Star Wars guys.
That's not what they're called. but
yeah.
anyway.
Melissa's husband.
Huh?
Melissa's husband.
No.
Oh, yeah, we're
No,
gonna use it. We
no.
had thoughts of that.
There's a group. There's a group of people. They've joined together and they call themselves the First Order.
Ooh,
Okay.
first order.
That's what they call themselves, and they are Star Wars reenactors. So in other words, you sign up and they do charity events, so that type of stuff. So I put my name out there, and they will send a squad of stormtroopers, with a couple of first officers, so I thought that might be kind of neat to have a group 20 or 30 of those guys march up Main Street, with blasters in their hands.
Have they answered back that they will do it?
They they haven't responded back to me yet, but they actually responded to me last, because I had reached out to them for last year's Oktoberfest, and they had asked me for more information, and then the country went down on lockdown. So I reached out to them again, and I'm waiting for a response. So it is possible that we may get some action there. If that happens, then we'll have to fit them in somewhere. Right?
They just walk the street.
Yeah, they kind of like parade.
Not hookers, John.
What'll happen is that
Reenactors.
we can turn it into a thing where after they march up the street, they break off into 2s and 3s, and they search the event for Obi-Wan Kenobi or something, and they stop and interrogate people, that kind of stuff. So
Great. They can do it down by the Goodness Store and Harry's.
yeah. So
Where we're racing trikes down that street.
yeah. Yeah. You're racing speeders. Those are speeders.
You call them whatever you want. If we race them down that hill, I'll be happy.
Pew, pew. Not going to happen. Pew pew.
Not gonna race down the hill.
Pew pew pew.
So anyway, that's a possibility. Also, what should happen is that I wanted to actually get like this big, huge, humongous 275th anniversary birthday cake, the kind that you roll out on.
Okay, Tony, I'll jump out of the cake.
I'm watching. Oh, that'd be cool. Can I put that in the minutes, Keith?
Good night.
Pete's volunteered to jump out of the cake.
Oh, you're in trouble now, Liam.
Now, here's what would happen though is that we do the cake about, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that way it doesn't interfere with people buying food.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then when we slice up the cake and give out pieces of cake to everyone, We have the selectmen do a little speech, 275th, that type of stuff. So I thought a cake would be kind of cool.
What's everyone's thoughts?
I like it.
Yep.
No, I'm not baking it. That's a lot of cake and frosting.
No, he's baking. He put on his baker's hat.
There you go.
Yep. Keith is baking the cake and then he'll jump out of it. He's got to wear a bikini if he jumps out.
Gross.
You jump out.
There's not enough wax in the world for Keith to wear a bikini.
He'll jump out with water skis on. Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts for, like unique things to add to this year's event?
Contact the Historical Society so they can get involved with the 275th anniversary.
I was going to do that anyway because I have to reach out to them to have them sign off on our beer garden again. So I will discuss that with them at the time,
So that they'll be prepared inside, but it would be really nice to have costumed people from that era walking around.
Yes. They do have people that do that sometimes. They dress up like, in that period clothing and stuff and wander around. So it would be good. It would be good, if they did that, if they were in period costume. Ideas, questions?
So we're doing the barbecue.
You guys doing ribs again? I can't hear you, Keith. You're muted.
I'm resigning from the committee and entering the contest.
You're still muted, Keith.
Yeah.
And I'm going to race tricycles down Depot Street or whatever it is.
Can't
It's
hear
not
you.
Depot Street.
You're muted right now. We can't hear you.
I can't hear you, Keith. You're muted.
So who's going to be the contact person between the olive branch and all that?
For what?
Who's going to do? One of us, either Keith or myself, will contact the olive branch and see if they want to host the rib.
Did you say the Olive Garden?
The Olive Branch Lodge.
That's their new name.
It's not the Mumford Lodge. It's the.
I swore Mary said the Olive Garden.
No, she said the Olive Branch Lodge. You have to stop muting your ears. Okay.
All this hair. Hang on.
Actually, it's all those funny hats you keep putting on.
What's he get on now?
He's got a little chef's hat on.
Oh, let me
Would
see.
you know if you were attending the meeting?
Let me see. Where is he?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so small.
His head's small too.
Well, we had also, Tony and I had started talking last year with the Olive Branch to see if they possibly wanted to do German food inside, representing Octoberfest, and they were thinking about it.
Oh, but then
Do what?
they got involved in ribs, and then ribs took over.
Oh,
This was after the rib thing, so they could make some money or do something.
Yeah, but they didn't want to do it. They thought that the ribs were doing the rib thing was enough.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what did we decide on power? We ran into all kinds of power issues last year with the rib cook-off. How are we going to modify to?
The only way we can modify that is to put some generators there. Now, we are actually going to, if we're going to have we're going to increase the size of the stage. We're going to put it on the corner, right? Then we're going to need some real power for that stage.
In the form of generators?
In the form of generators, probably.
Do we just want to say for the barbecue people, you need to supply your own power?
or if you're a real barbecuer, you don't need electricity.
Yeah, I mean, fine. But the reality is that people are going to bring things, grills that require power. So I mean.
No. Actually, they won't if you tell them they can't. It depends on what you say. That this is a rib cook-off, but you can only use a barbecue grill.
I mean, what were there, eight contestants or whatever? 7 out of the 8 had.
Yeah, most of them used electricity.
So I don't think it's unreasonable to say bring your own power.
How are they going to do that? We're going to have 55 generators over there?
Yeah, I was going to say that might be the worry, John.
That's the problem, because the fire chief when he had asked me that question. He said, you're not gonna have generators over there, are you? You know? We had, at the time when we did that, we had to get a special permit from the fire department because we had all of those propane tanks in the same area. There's rules on how much fuel you can store in one area, you know? So we had gotten a special permit from the fire department that day or something like that. There was some kind of an agreement or something that we did.
I think the Mumford Lodge or the Olive Branch Lodge is not going to be thrilled if they have to run all those extension cords out of the windows.
No. So if you're going to, so why can't you, I don't understand why you just can't make rules that say you just use a barbecue grill. What's wrong with that?
Because 7 out of 8 of the contestants or 8 out of 9 contestants had grills that required them to be plugged in.
My grill doesn't require that it gets plugged in.
You're not entering competitions.
Don't they? Okay. So why do they need electric? What does it do?
I mean, I don't know. It's just my guess. And Keith, maybe you can speak to this more. This is kind of your thing, your world. But if all of a sudden you changed made a rule in which 90% of the contestants, were existing in that category, do you all of a sudden lose all of your entrants?
Yeah, no, again, like if I had my,
If you had what?
Where'd he go? Keith is gone.
Keith is gone. He's muted. Keith is muted.
Well, here's the thought.
all right, my computer's going haywire. It's on its way out. Yeah, no, if I had my way, I'd ban all electricity, but it's not feasible. So we have to figure out a way to get power and not melt down the Olive Lodge.
All right. So in that case, we will have to get a generator that would be able to produce, enough power to run.
Yeah, and I don't think they use a lot of power.
It's just a hopper. It's just turning a hopper.
Yeah. So if you got a generator that had 6,000 watts, then that should run quite a few of them.
How many gigawatts is that?
6,000.
1.3, 1.8.
21 gigawatts.
So that's 2 generators up there, right? Because you got running the grills and then you got to run the stage.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I have a question. Should you move the barbecue down to the bank parking lot and then put the race up there somehow?
Get on board with that. No, the trains.
Oh, the train.
I just think that would make the race more fun.
I agree. I would much rather do the race up there. I think that would be a blast around the corner, but the train runs there.
Well, you have the whole. It would be kind of cool to have them go up and over on the grass and the sidewalk of the Olive Branch to make it fun. But you also have that whole detour blocked up area up there that could be part of the race. And then you put hay bales in the way so they can't run into the street.
No, they're not off-road, Mary. They're for the road. They're for street. They're not made to go off-road or on sidewalks or grass or whatever. They're made for the road.
Okay.
Well, they're made for pavement. Just the way.
Yeah. So smooth pavement, right? So if you ran, you could do a track up at the corner. You get the triangle. You can come up one side, then kind of double back around like this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's exactly where the train goes. So
yeah,
not going to work unless we reroute the train.
Where?
There's not. They can't. There's not.
No. Yeah. No. I know. There's nowhere.
All right.
Yeah.
How much does one of those really big generators on wheels? Oh, you'd have cords in the way of the train. Okay, never mind. Because I'm thinking if we could get a sponsor to pay for a rental of a big generator, that would cover the ribs, but also the stage and everything needs that. But you've got wires in the way.
Well,
Yeah.
we,
I have a generator. We can use my generator. That covers one of them, either the grills or the stage.
Yeah,
yeah, and we can get, we'll just get another generator that we can put on the other side for the grill.
Mine's pretty beefy, so should be fine.
Problem over.
It's loud.
Well,
But if you put a box over or something, quiet it down a little bit.
I have a generator that's not that loud, but it runs on propane. It doesn't run on gasoline. But it's already spoken for that day.
Yeah, mine will run on propane or gas.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it quieter if it runs on propane?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't have any tanks though. So if someone wants to hook a propane tank to my generator, then, fine by me. I'll supply the generator. Just somebody either plug propane or gas into it.
So we would just put a generator on the stage, and we put a generator for the barbecue grills, and problem's done. All right.
Done.
All right. I think we're gonna ask who's the one that booked the white lady statue.
Ooh, that was John.
Yeah, I reached out to her, I don't know, last year, 6 months ago, something like that. She was living out of state, but said she was considering moving back, and she was definitely interested in doing it again.
Yep.
And last time we spoke, she also said that if she wasn't here, that she would try to find or recommend someone
Nice.
in her place.
Okay, because she was a hit. People loved it.
Yeah, and she made good money that day.
Yeah. Any other ideas for event or for 275th birthday stuff?
Are you going to run larger than life this year?
I don't know. We can talk about that. I can. We can do something different with it too.
You were thinking of doing just the first, doing the first order.
If I was
and
doing
making an event with that instead.
Yeah, if I did the first order, Star Wars guys parade, then we would put that in the larger than life spot. All right. So.
Yeah, here's my thought on this. It's a pretty big lift for folks to do the larger than life parade. It requires us finding a lot of people, and then it requires them sort of like choreographing the dance part of it. And I think we're pretty confident the event's going to go off, but there is a piece of this that's a little bit tenuous. There's also the piece around, wearing the things, touching them, and potentially having to wear masks. And they're pretty bulky, and uncomfortable to wear. And now for asking folks to have to wear masks while they're also doing this thing, I think maybe if there were a year to take a year off, this would be the one to do it.
The one to do. I'm not saying that we don't. So we take a year off with it and we bring it back in a year or two.
Yeah.
Maybe a little differently. So I don't have a problem with that. Yep.
Yeah, that's my vote.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. We find something to put in its place, in the program for this year or whatever, and then we can bring it back out of the closet after, some other day, some other time.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to do everything that we do. We don't necessarily have to do everything every year. We can retire it for a while and then bring it back, so that we try to keep things different and new,
We should do a tree lighting.
We are going to do that. But, okay. So,
No, we're not, Mary. It's never going to happen.
Yeah,
well, it is, because we're going to buy a sound system for that thing.
Well, we'll discuss that a little later, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll talk.
I like the idea of having the stormtroopers be marching down Main Street, but if Mr. Obi-Wan doesn't mind participating in the event, we could have him all of a sudden, you see him working the crowd on both sides of the street, and then here comes the stormtroopers and they're looking for Obi-Wan. Have you seen? So they're actually getting the crowd involved as well as Obi-Wan is trying to hide, but they got to kind of go all the way up Depot Street too to involve everyone. And I think the crowd would love that.
We're gonna get a cease and desist from Disney.
No, there's rules. They already have permission to do this, but they are not allowed to have a sword fight.
They're not allowed to fight with laser blasters and, you know,
Pew 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 pew.
they're not allowed to do that.
No pew pew.
Pew, pew.
So, you know, they can pair up, they can wander around, they can interrogate you, you know, like, you know, have you seen, you know, have you seen this droid, you know, thing?
They can post for pictures.
And then you
whatever.
know, you use your thing on them that says, these are not the droids you're looking for, you know, they're not the droids I'm looking for. Yeah, stuff like that.
What do you think, Melissa? Because you're the one who's married to Obi-Wan.
Aren't I lucky?
Lucky.
Yeah, I'm sure that he would be willing to do that for you.
Oh, good.
What a guy.
That'd be awesome.
And then we just tell Valley Tech when they come with their robots that we want them to have an R2D2.
There you go.
You want me to reach out to BVT again?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, why not?
People love being able to play with their robots and do stuff. And then they also took time to perform down at that end of the street as well. So that worked out really super well.
Yeah, no, it's nice that a high school wants to celebrate our event and come out and, you know, market themselves.
Yeah.
I do like how every year we tweak the event just a little. Some favorites are always there, but there's always something new and something changes a little bit. Because if it's the same old, people will be like, yeah, I'm not going to go. They haven't changed it in 4 years.
Yeah, it's got to be different. We got to add new and different things. That, make Keith wear, you know, a tiny little hat when he's up there announcing people on the stage.
And a bikini.
I'll do it.
Make him jump out of the cake.
Gross.
Keith, do you have an outfit that would work for the 275th, or would you even mind wearing something like that?
Mary, you trying to ask me to wear my birthday suit? Because,
Gross.
you know, there's laws against that.
Gross. You're going to make Melissa vomit.
Oh, I have an odd sense of humor. I would find it hilarious if you wouldn't get arrested.
Would be the first time.
You wouldn't
You
have
know, Keith, some of those October days can be really cold.
Oh, we are being
wait a minute, wait a minute.
taped, people. People actually
this
watch
is actually getting recorded, and
Yeah, keep it up, Governor Cuomo.
Okay, but in case we can come up with something, you know, different, that'd be cool. Newer vendors, you know, we're always looking for vendors that are different.
Hey, can somebody cut hair there? Are there any like
Laws?
Yeah.
I don't think so. As
You don't
long-
think
Nope. Sorry, John.
Well, let me ask this question. Does anybody know if you have to be licensed to cut hair?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about someone who's licensed. There's a relatively new barber in Uxbridge.
All right.
Kudos. She's been there
Yes.
for a couple of years now.
She's all over Dynamic Douglas.
Yeah, so I just got my hair cut there the other day, and I was considering seeing if she might be interested in doing a booth because she seems like she's been trying to do some outreach and stuff.
Why not?
John,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd use your hair as a spokesperson.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I know. There's not much there to work with, but
Mine's getting long. You can have some of mine. Is that Sarah laughing?
Okay, so anything else? You have anything else? Do we have any vendors signed up?
We do have 11 from last year that forwarded to
No.
this. So we do already have 11, which is good. And my email has changed, so that needs to be updated on all Facebook and websites. Not that I want the world contacting me, but it has.
Yeah, for the love of God, will somebody please get me a Douglas Oktoberfest email so I can get off Yahoo?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, way.
Did your Juno email expire?
No, it's still going because every now and then it's like, hey, you haven't been on there in a long time. You got to get on.
I can get you a Douglas Oktoberfest email address, but it's
You've been telling me that for 2 years, Tony.
but it's going to have a C, not a K.
Oh, well. Just
But I
that,
want the K.
Well, then you got to speak to John because he's the one that handles that domain.
Could we get a town email address?
Why not?
that's a good-
Oktoberfest@douglas.net or something? Whatever the town address is.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Melissa.
Look at that. I finally served a purpose on the committee.
Well, you serve a very important purpose
Okay,
of
so-
having a dry day.
That's true.
I thought we had alcohol at the event now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will reach out to Suzanne. Is it Suzanne? I can at least ask Suzanne. She should know, right?
Are we taking electronic payment yet for vendors?
Electronic payment?
How about day of? Are we taking electronic payment for day of?
Day of?
Bitcoin?
For tickets, we did, right?
Yeah, for tickets we do. Yeah, I use credit card processing in the ticket booth.
What about vendors? Vendor spots?
Can, but
You mean our vendors accepting payments that way?
well, how about
No, they're on their own.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to clarify John's question here.
No. I think we're getting to the point where we should look to modernize the way we accept money from vendors.
okay, so they should be able to. I'm going to throw this back at you. Then they should be able to fill out a form on the website and process their credit card payment.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go. You're the website guy.
Yeah, that's scary.
So that means we have to verify that it went into our account and it was processed.
Well,
and-
you'd get a copy of the email that it was confirmed and that you got paid.
Now, I have a question. If, when it comes closer to the day and it's not gonna be the best day or whatever,
Here's
they can cancel it, but
here's
no.
here's the
I-
problem with that though. Okay. That means that if they log in as a vendor and pay and it goes into your account, you've accepted them as a vendor. We can't
Oh.
refuse them then. We can't refuse anybody. Okay. Right now, we control how many people we have that sell toys. We control how many people we have that sell hamburgers. We control how many people that we have. And
Yeah. So what if you just accept the form and then there's a private link to submit the money, through either, I don't know, PayPal or Venmo or something.
But now it becomes a part where somebody gave you the form and you're waiting for the money, okay? As opposed to having them both at the same time so that you know it's processed.
Well, how does it work right now? If you don't accept a vendor, then you just don't cash the check.
We
No,
mail it back.
back to
We
them
mail it back.
with a letter of why it was not accepted. Thank you so much for applying, blah, we already have this type of vendor. We only allow one. Thank you, and try again for next year because it is first come, first served, blah, blah.
Can't allow ambulances on the sidewalk.
And there's new laws in all of the states, so my life is gonna become very interesting. And my
Yeah.
private thoughts don't count.
Yeah, we might have, I don't know, 85 people sign up to sell CBD or, smokable stuff and,
Yeah, I mean, certainly I think that there are some hurdles to figure out, but we should think about trying to modernize the way we accept the vendor forms. If we're looking to diversify our vendors and, continue to look to get a younger crowd, then, folks want to do digital. They want to not fill out paperwork and send it in the mail.
Oh, gee. They still have to fill out the forms.
They still have to fill out paper. They still have to fill out some form, whether it be electronic or not.
Yeah, no, I just think that's how people operate now. I think people tend to want to do something online and, hit Venmo someone the money.
But all right, so to go along that lines, they have to be, I have to go over the forms to see if, like, Avon, we only have one Avon person, or Tupperware, whatever.
Yeah,
Just
see,
use
that's the
those as
problem,
an
is it takes the
example.
review out of it when you do that.
Well, I would have to review them before accepting or charging their credit card.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a conversation for another time, because we
Yeah.
could sit here and kick that around.
Well, we have to investigate that if we're going to do it, because
Well, we're not going to do it this time.
No, not this year, but we should continue to think about it.
Yeah. All right.
I'd like to move that we rent the office space downtown for the Douglas Festival Committee.
What office space?
I don't know. Isn't there a spot downtown across from the gas station?
for now, what happens if she rents it?
Believe it or not, when at the time, way back in the olden days, when I used to have a video store there, okay,
That
when
was
we
crazy.
did Octoberfest, that was Octoberfest headquarters.
Think about how much bigger we are now. And I have to work from home. This is Bush League.
Well, all right, I have a question then. If the olive branch is not going to have anything on the inside, they're only going to do the barbecue outside, why couldn't we ask to use their place?
For a meeting space?
Oh, you want to start having meetings there instead of the town hall when we start having meetings?
I want an office.
You want an office?
I want a headquarters.
You want an office that day, or do you want an office like beginning now?
No, year round. I want to.
Oh, okay, well, now, there you go. Are you volunteering to pay for it?
No.
I volunteer that we set up an office at your house.
No. My mother-in-law is about to move in with me. There's no room.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's got kids' toys all over the place now.
Oh, they got children.
Yeah, 'cause he's-
And one of them likes to sit on Danny's lap when he's playing the piano.
That's the look for you, Keith, right there.
What kind of flower is that, Keith?
Looks like a lilac.
No.
You're muted.
No, that's a hydrangea. Yeah, I would have thought Melissa would have gotten that one.
Oh, I knew. I figured it was a test, though, for Keith.
I thought it was a peony. So, hey, I
No.
moved to adjourn because my battery's about to die.
Okay.
All right, have we discussed everything we need to so that we're good to go?
I think we're good to go. We're gonna buy some trikes. We're gonna start getting some stuff in. So, but the day is October 2nd. So we're gonna start planning. Somewhere along the line, Melissa's gonna get together some stuff for donations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
I'm going to try and play up it's our 275th anniversary.
Yes, try to play that up. And then you'll need postage and all of that stuff. So just let us know what you need for that.
Okay.
Are you gonna check email? So if I could have an email to like Keith?
I'm gonna find out.
It actually wouldn't be a bad idea for us to have those email addresses so that it's more official looking. Like I know a lot of people ask me to email them instead of sending letters, and it would look more official if it was coming from a Douglas email address versus my Hotmail address.
Yahoo or Gmail or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will. I'll reach out to the town and see if we can get some email addresses.
Melissa, I don't know how you feel about that. The guy up the street, your Christmas Depot is selling his house.
Yes, I know.
He had some items that he was giving away. I don't know if any of it could be decent prizes for Oktoberfest.
Oh, I could ask him about that. I don't think he's being that generous in his downsizing. My husband went up and talked to him about some of the blow ups and whatnots, and he made it sound like, oh, I'm throwing stuff in, I'll give you this, that, the other thing, and then a couple $100 later, my husband's coming home with some stuff. So
he said he was giving away a lot of the toys and stuffed animals, and they were all new and they were donated, so he was giving them away. And if no one's taken them yet, maybe we could use that for something.
Well,
yeah, I'll send him an email.
if he had, that's the guy with all that Christmas stuff, right?
Yeah, he's moving.
Well, if he is some of that stuff could be used on the common, couldn't it?
He's charging for it. He's not giving it away.
Oh, okay. Well, ask Blake.
That was my point. He's charging people.
Oh, that's not how we posted on Facebook.
I know.
Okay, so we got a good start. When would we have another meeting? Should be next month. We should actually be meeting once a month.
Next month. I move that we meet next month.
Next
Second.
month. Yeah, next month. All right. So I am going to make a meeting sometime in April.
Okay.
And I will send out the notices. In the meantime, okay, way before that, I will have this digitized. I will send a copy of this to everyone, mostly John, so that you can start getting your team together to do an update.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right, everyone be safe.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
I'm Cable Person.